to Movie Reedviews with me, Cody Reed. This review is for Jurassic World, the fourth one in the franchise. This one is actually directed by Colin Trevorrow and it stars Chris Pratt, Bryce Dallas Howard, and Vincent D'Onofrio. So in this installment, Jurassic Park is actually open. It's like an amusement park, just like Six Flags or Disney World, and it's actually open, and it's called Jurassic World, so they retitled it, and they have all these different attractions, but as people get, throughout time, they kind of get bored of certain things, which I can actually see this happening. You have all these dinosaurs, but then people are like, well, we've seen this before, so then the park creates a new dinosaur, and it eventually escapes from this locked containment that it's in, and so it's running throughout the park. It has these different abilities because it's this genetically mutated dinosaur, so it has different abilities. It's different than the other ones, and it's let loose on the park accidentally, and everyone's running amok, and everyone has to protect themselves from this dinosaur. And I could see this happening because it's the same thing with the movies. We've already seen dinosaurs in these movies before in 3 other movies for Jurassic Park, and so they have to create this new dinosaur to keep our interest, make this new installment, and have Jurassic World just be this new thing. You have Bryce Dallas Howard, who stars as Claire, who's this uptight business lady who's in charge of the park, and she's more into business aspects of the park than actually helping the animals, like the dinosaurs. And so she enlists the help of Owen, played by Chris Pratt, who trains raptors, and he's gaining their trust basically, and he's still in the development stages of training the raptors. They don't always listen to him, but it's getting there. And so with the help of them two and some other people, they try to catch this Indominus Rex, or the I-Rex as I'll call it, and they have to try to contain it again. So that's the plot for you. Not much else to say. A few things to start off with that I didn't like. I didn't really care for the kids in the movie. Like half of the movie they're off doing their own thing, kind of separate, and they're not really developed that much. They try to, but they don't go that far with them. So it was just kind of like, meh, kids. And then Vincent D'Onofrio's character, Hoskins, he just kind of plays this generic antagonist, not really villain, but just like this antagonist that you can kind of tell his motivations, and he's going to be the antagonist in the movie, as well as one of the scientists from Jurassic Park. He's here, and he kind of plays the evil scientist messing with science. Ooh. There's also just like a few other things that don't really make sense, like Claire, she's running around the whole island in heels. Like, okay, that's not gonna happen in real life. They're gonna break, or she's gonna hurt her ankle. As well as cell phones sometimes not working on the island. Like, this is an island full of technology, just like sponsorships and technology and all around the island, but sometimes the cell phones or radios don't work. Come on. And then just another minor issue, the script was just kind of okay. I mean, it wasn't the best. Some of the lines were like, what? But that's not really pertinent to this kind of blockbuster movie, though. Now that we got those out of the way, let's talk about some of the fun things. There's a lot of callbacks to the original, like just little Easter eggs basically, where you'll see like, oh, this is kind of reminds me of the original Jurassic Park, or that's a callback to the original. They don't really mention the sequels a lot. They just kind of focus on Jurassic Park and don't really make reference to those other ones, which is probably good. And then this one more has a futuristic look to it. Jurassic Park had a lot of those animatronics, the practical effects. This one does have a lot of CGI, which is good a lot of the times. I mean, it's really good CGI and computer effects, but it has more of a futuristic look, like a crispy look to it, rather than that grittier look that the original had. This one, I kind of liked how, just like Jurassic Park, it was kind of like a monster movie. So, as they're running, especially through some of these night scenes, they're trying to find some of these dinosaurs, and you see things moving through the grass, and some of the raptors are going all crazy, and so it had more of that monster movie kind of vibe to it. And the night scenes, like I mentioned, were really great and kind of creepy. A lot of it did take place during the daytime. I wish more was at night, but a lot of the action and the effects were still great in general. And there were even some, when the dinosaurs are going berserk and pterodactyls are swooping down, grabbing people, there were some of those moments where I was like, geez, oh my gosh, oh dang! So there were a lot of those, which was great. 2 other things, one of which the music was great. It had that old classic John Williams score to it, but Michael Giacchino also added some new elements to it and some other parts of the soundtrack, which was a nice mix of old and new, which is kind of like the movie in general. And speaking of old and new, you get to see some of these new dinosaurs that they're making, as well as these old classic ones. And there's even a fight at the end, which is awesome. The whole last half an hour was great because it was leading up to this climax, and it had a lot of great pace and momentum in that last half an hour. So I thought the third act was fantastic, especially a fight that happens. So if you're on the fence about Jurassic World, You know, if you like the magic of the first one, this one does recreate some of that, and so, you know, I think it was pretty comparable to the first. Maybe not as good, but I still really enjoyed Jurassic World. And then if 2 and 3 disappointed you, especially 3 I didn't care for, but if those sequels weren't your favorite, then, like I mentioned, it doesn't even really reference those, so that might help sway your opinion more in favor of seeing the movie. As for me, 4 out of 5 stars. I thought it was fantastic. You know, some of the writing and some of those minor characters, like I mentioned, were just meh, but it was great seeing the park open, seeing a lot of those action sequences and fights, and the climax was fantastic as well. So there you go. Make sure to subscribe to my YouTube channel, youtube.com/movie-reedviews, to see my other reviews. And then lastly, make sure to send me some emails, moviereedviews@gmail.com. Thanks so much for watching this movie Reedview.
Well, the Water Boy here. I thought that Jurassic World was fantastic. Yeah, it had a lot of those dinosaurs and a lot of other monsters. It was kind of scary for Bobby Boucher. So I'll give the movie 4 out of 7 water parks.